So let us resume yesterday's discussion. We discussed about the potential energy associated with gravitational force. Today we will discuss with the work done by spring force when the body moves from 1 to 2, and then we will decide whether it is a conservative force or non-conservative. So let us start doing it. So this is the typical single degree of freedom system that you have learned in structural dynamics, undamped, of course. Let us say the spring stiffness here is K, and this is linear elastic spring. So this spring is linear elastic. What do we mean by linear, Samay?
Stress strain graph is linear.
So in spring there is no question of stress, so force versus deformation graph
Uh,
is linear. That is linear
okay.
spring. And what do you mean by elastic? When you unload it, it follows the same path,
Same path.
and the entire deformation vanishes upon unloading. When load is zero, the deformation will come back to zero. Am I correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So that is called as elastic. So this spring is linear elastic. Let us say mass here is not required because we are not talking about dynamic response, or we are not talking about dynamic force. We are dealing with static responses, at least in this course. Therefore, mass I have written there, but it is superfluous data, not required. And this mass is acted upon by force F towards right. Under the action of this force F, external force, and spring force, which is internal to the system, this body moves from position number 1 to position number 2. X axis is along horizontal. X coordinate is 0 at position number 1 when the spring is undeformed, and X coordinate is x1 at position number 2 when the spring has expansion of x1 mm, or x1 in particular unit of length. Are you with me?
Okay.
Okay. Now tell me, as this body moves from position number 1 to position number 2, what can you say? Will the spring force remain same or will it vary?
Spring force, na?
Hmm.
It will vary, na?
Correct. So spring forces ought to vary because spring force is proportional to the deformation of spring. Am I right?
Huh.
The spring force is going to vary, but will F vary?
No.
No, just now I said we are not dealing with dynamic problems where F is
Huh.
time dependent. So F is going to remain same. So
Same.
can we first write down work done by F when the body moves from 1 to 2? That will be easy, right?
Okay.
So what is the work done? Can you tell me? It is F
Force.
into x1, or to be precise,
Yes.
F into x1 minus 0.
Yes.
Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. So that's how I write down. And is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, because the
In the
body
direction of
displaces in the
force.
direction of F. So work is done by F and not on F. So it is positive. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
Now let us say as the body moves from position number 1 to 2, at some instant of time, it would have assumed an intermediate position at distance x from 1. समझ में आ रहा
Okay. Yes.
है? Now what is the spring force? When the body has assumed the position x, it will be proportional to deformation. So it will be k into x minus 0. Do you agree with me?
Okay. Yes.
So it is going to be kx. Am I very clear?
Yes.
So therefore, this kx force, let us now consider the body moves by amount dx, and dx is infinitesimally small. So at the end of when the body reaches this position, the value of x will be x plus dx, but dx being infinitesimally small, we can assume that over its travel in dx, spring force kx can be taken to be constant. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So how small dx is? Dx is so small such that over the change in position from x to x plus dx, the spring force can be assumed to be constant and having the magnitude of kx. Agreed?
Yes.
So what is the work done? When the body is moving from x to x plus dx, it is spring force kx multiplied by distance dx associated with negative sign.
Huh.
because the work is done against the spring.
Against this spring.
Do you agree with me?
Yes.
If you agree with me on this, now what will be the total work done by spring force when the body moves from 1 to 2? It will be its integration from
Yes.
x equal to 0
To x equal to x1.
to x equal to x1. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. So let us simplify this. If I simplify this, the work done that I am going to get is F into x1. Agreed?
Yes.
Uh, plus, rather minus. Sorry.
Minus
चलो बोलो माइनस बोलो क्या होगा
kx square kx1 square by 2 plus c plus c
y plus c
constant.
when you are dealing with definite integral
बरोबर.
there is no question of c. So therefore fx1 minus kx1 square by 2, this is the work done as the body moves from 1 to 2. Do you agree with me?
हाँ.
Okay. Now let us perform another example, another exercise. Now the body moves from position number 1 to position number 3 first, where the coordinate of 3 is x is equal to x2. After the body goes to position number 3, it comes back to position number 2. So now what is the path? Path is 1 to 3 and then 3 to 2. So the final position is same.
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how do I write work done by all the forces in moving the body from 1 to 3? Is it work done in moving the body from 1 to, sorry, I'm 1 to 2,
1
I
to
should
2.
write.
हाँ.
Okay. 1 to 2. U 1 to 3 plus U
3 to 2.
3 to 2. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
This is the work done. Now we will write down each work done separately. How do I write U 1 to 3? Chalo. What is the work done by force F? It is going to be F into x3.
x2.
x3.
x2.
Sorry. x2. To be precise, x2 minus 0. But I am now
हाँ.
taking the liberty directly writing down F into x2. Am I right?
Yes.
What is the work done by spring force? अब फिर से वो इंटीग्रेशन करने की जरूरत नहीं है.
हाँ.
समझ में आ रहा है? So
Yes.
can I write it directly as half?
Minus.
Okay. Minus half k
kx2 square.
x2 square. सही है?
Yes.
Happy?
हाँ.
Now, what is the work done as the body moves from 3 to 2? चलो बताओ. F into
x1 minus
x2 minus x1. सही है?
हाँ. हाँ.
And with minus sign. And F into x2 minus x1 is given negative sign because work is done against F.
Okay.
समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ.
Now, let us go ahead and write down the work done by spring. Let me consider x from here. This is dx. स्प्रिंग फोर्स कौन से डायरेक्शन में है? इस डायरेक्शन में. हाउ मच इज द स्प्रिंग फोर्स? K times x. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
What is the work done in moving by dx? Kx dx. And now it is
Yes.
positive because the body is returning from 3 to 2.
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा
Yes.
है? And I have to do integration from x equal to x2 to x equal to x1.
Yes.
So what will be this integration? Can you tell me? Plus
K x1 square by
x
2
square by 2. और
x1.
इसमें मतलब
हाँ.
ये टर्म तो ऐसे ही रहेगा इक्वल टू, इसमें आने वाला है x1, यहाँ पे आएगा x2. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So now what is this equal to? ये माइनस f इंटू x2
Minus
माइनस
x.
x1, तो वैसे के वैसे रहेगा. प्लस इधर क्या आएगा? k
K x1 square by 2
x1 square by 2
minus K x2 square by
minus k x2 square by 2. And now we have to add these two works in order to get u1 to 2. So क्या एडिशन होगा? ये fx2 है, that fx2
cancel
will
out.
get cancelled with this and you will get fx1.
Yes.
सही है. Now kx2 minus half kx2 square. हाँ, कुछ तो गड़बड़ किया हमने. What is the point? Okay.
Plus sign.
See, you have to add one more negative sign here. That is because dx is negative. Now dx is not in positive x direction. Dx, the body is coming back, so dx travel is in negative direction. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So the signs are going to get reversed. देखो, dx, when we are saying that x to x minus dx ऐसे चेंज हो रहा है, ना कि x to x plus dx,
हाँ.
because the body is returning. Are you
Yes.
able to understand what I am trying to say? So therefore this sign will be negative. Then kx square by 2, 1 half kx2 square and kx2 square by 2, they will get cancelled out and you will get it as minus half k x1 square by 2. Is it precisely the same expression that we got in the previous case?
Yes.
Samay?
हाँ.
Yes. So therefore,
Sir,
what is
half
हाँ,
काढून टाका. हाँ.
yeah. So this should be removed. Now is it correct?
हाँ.
Now tell me what is the conclusion. Samay, please tell me what is the conclusion. Here there are two forces that we are talking about. कौन से force है? एक तो spring force है और दूसरा एक external force है. Do you agree?
Yes.
So we have this conclusion. External force is always conservative because it is path independent.
Okay.
Work done by it is path independent. Therefore, external force is always going to be conservative. And what about spring force? Spring force also turns out to be conservative.
Yes.
Because work done by spring force is independent of path. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
Two important conclusions. But external force is also conservative and spring force is also conservative in nature. So if a body is acted upon by gravitational force, spring force and external force, it is going to form a body under system of conservative forces. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
अब जरा ध्यान से सुनो मैं क्या कह रहा हूं. You look at beam, slab, everything. As long as we are doing linear elastic analysis, what are the forces that they are subjected to? One, external force. External force is dead load, live load, wind load, everything. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes. Yes.
Is it conservative in nature? Yes. I
Yes.
proved external load is conservative. It is subjected to gravity load due to its mass. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Is it conservative? Yes.
Yes.
And it is subjected to elastic force because समझो बीम बेंड हो रहा है तो कैन आई रिप्लेस दैट बीम बाय सिंगल स्प्रिंग मास सिस्टम? हाँ कर सकता हूँ. Far end is fixed, then the bending stiffness is 4 EI by L. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So I can always represent that moment and rotation relationship as a spring with having stiffness 4 EI by L.
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है? सो जो ये सारे फोर्सेस जो आपको दिख रहे हैं, इलास्टिक ईआई वाले फोर्सेस फ्लेक्शन में, जीजे वाले फोर्सेस टॉर्शन में, एई वाले फोर्सेस एक्सियल फोर्स हो तो
अच्छा.
ये सारे फोर्सेस दे आर मोर और लेस सिमिलर टू इलास्टिक फोर्सेस. डू यू एग्री विथ मी?
Yes.
हाँ, सो स्प्रिंग फोर्स बोलने की जगह या अच्छा होता अगर हम कहते इलास्टिक फोर्स, एंड दैट्स व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू से. सो वी नो दैट ऑल इलास्टिक फोर्सेस आर कंजर्वेटिव इन नेचर.
Yes.
So most of the systems that we are going to deal with, buildings, bridges, everything is going to be subjected to conservative force system. Agreed?
Yes.
Uh, with few exceptions, where you are going to take into account friction. Friction is non-conservative. We will prove that in a while, but friction is non-conservative. But agar most of the cases you are going to deal with conservative force system, we are going to talk in terms of potential energy. Are you with
Okay.
me?
Yes.
Now, so for external force, how should I write potential energy? What should be the form of potential energy? So V due to external force, I will write it as force multiplied by delta. Are you with me?
Yes.
But with negative sign. Why this negative sign is there? देखो last time हमने एक किया था, work done should be equal to potential energy at position number 1 minus potential energy at position number 2. ये हमने last time derive किया था.
Yes.
हाँ, टू ओबे दैट, उसको ओबे करने के लिए, और ये एक्सप्रेशन जो हमने निकाला u1 to 2 इज दिस मच, ये आने के लिए हमें ऐसे करना पड़ेगा. ये f इंटू डेल्टा को निगेटिव साइन देके उस फॉर्मेशन को हमें पोटेंशियल एनर्जी एसोसिएटेड विद एक्सटर्नल लोड बोलना पड़ेगा. समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ.
What I am trying to say, because in the last time for gravitational potential energy we had derived the equation work done by gravitational force in moving the object from 1 to 2 is potential energy at 1 minus potential energy at 2. ऐसे ही अगर इधर बोलना है work done by elastic and external forces while the object moves from 1 to 2 is potential energy at 1 minus potential energy at 2, और ये बोल के ये वाला एक्सप्रेशन अगर लाना है तो we will have to modify this expression for potential energy by introducing negative sign here. Mathematical convenience. You have to understand potential energy is all mathematical convenience.
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है? So I treat it as minus f into delta. हाँ, अब बहुत सारे बुक्स में इसको ऐसे देखा जाता है, फोर्स के वजह से जो डिफॉर्मेशन डेल्टा हो रहा है उसके वजह से उस फोर्स के साथ जो पोटेंशियल ऑफ डूइंग वर्क है वो कम हो जाएगा, इसलिए इसको नेगेटिव साइन दिया जाता है. V potential energy due to elastic force. How do I write? Again, for maintaining work done is from in moving the body from 1 to 2 is potential energy at 1 minus potential energy at 2. अगर ऐसे मुझे करना है तो ये निगेटिव साइन निकालना पड़ेगा, एंड आई राइट इट एज 1/2 k into delta square, where delta is the extension or contraction of the spring.
Okay.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
हाँ, सो ये फॉर्म रहता है पोटेंशियल एनर्जी ड्यू टू एक्सटर्नल लोड एंड पोटेंशियल एनर्जी ड्यू टू इलास्टिक लोड इसका. सो व्हाट इज द फॉर्म? ग्रेविटेशनल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी ड्यू टू ग्रेविटी क्या फॉर्म था जरा बताओ? m g डेल्टा. अब सबको डेल्टा में ही लाना है तो मैं डेल्टा में लाता हूँ इसको.
Okay.
समझ में आ रहा है? हाँ, सो डेल्टा को ही हम x या y से रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं. सो एक्सटर्नल वर्क डन की वजह से व्हाट इज द वर्क डन? माइनस f इनटू x. लेट अस से form, I am just talking about the form of potential energy expression. Are you with me?
Yes.
This is the form of potential energy equation. So if I ask you what is the potential energy at position number 1, तो आप क्या लिखोगे? इस डेल्टा को आप 0 सब्स्टिट्यूट करोगे. Do you agree with me? So therefore, so potential energy at 1, you have to substitute delta equal to 0. Potential energy due to external load at 2, you will substitute delta equal to x1. समझ
Okay.
में आ रहा है?
Yes.
So and so forth. So how do we write potential energy total? चलो लिखता हूँ मैं potential energy. How do I write total potential energy? Total कैसे लिखना पड़ेगा? I will write potential energy due to gravity plus potential energy due to, बोलो,
External force
external force
plus
plus
potential energy.
potential energy due to elastic force. In
Elastic.
this external force, we have negative sign.
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
Remember this expression of potential energy. Potential energy, if the body is subjected to only gravitational force, external force, and elastic force, this is how we write. External force potential energy will involve negative sign.
Yes.
Am I very clear?
Yes.
Okay, so we have now completed the discussion on potential energy. The last part is remaining, frictional force. So let us do it for frictional force as exercise of completeness, and then we will proceed ahead with the principle of minimization of potential energy. Chalo. So let us take same example. There is a block sitting here, having mass m, and it is acted upon by a force F. Under the action of this force F, it moves from position number 1 to 2. X is 0 here, X is x1 here. And in second case, the same block, mass m, subjected to force F, moves from x equal to 0 at position number 1 to x equal to x2 at position number 3 and come back to position number 2, x is equal to x2. Agreed?
Yes.
And we are now writing down the work done by all the external forces acting on this body. So what are the external forces? This F. Then you are going to have this normal force mg. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Then you are going to have this normal reaction N, and you are going to have mu s, coefficient of static friction, multiplied by mu s time how much? N. Do you agree?
Yes.
N is always mg, so it is going, that frictional force is going to be mu s times mg.
Yes.
But when the body sets itself into the motion, it is not going to be mu s, it is going to be coefficient of kinetic friction.
Okay.
So therefore I will replace this by mu k. सही है?
Yes.
Mu k. Pardon me for bad handwriting, but you have understood, I think. Now, what are the forces that do work as the body moves from 1 to 2? Does F do work? Yes. Does N, mu k times N, do work? Yes, because it is in the direction x1, x equal to 0 to x equal to x1. Does mg do work?
No.
No,
MG
because
and
it is
N do.
perpendicular.
MG and N.
Mg and N won't do any work. So what is the
Yes.
work done by all the forces as the body moves from 1 to 2 in first case? चलो बताओ क्या आएगा?
F
F
x1
into x1
minus x minus
minus
0.
mu k into N times x1.
X1.
सही है?
Yes.
Right. Now let us perform the same experiment here. What is the work done from when the body moves from 1 to 3? यही रहेगा, सिर्फ F into x3 minus mu k times N times x3.
Sir, x2
x2, I'm sorry, x2. x2. Do you agree with me?
हाँ.
Now, what is the work done when the body moves from 3 to 2? When body moves from 3 to 2, it will be minus
हाँ.
f into x3 minus x2.
x2 x2 minus x1.
अरे यार, x2 minus x1. Sorry. सही है? हाँ. And अब यहाँ क्या लिखूं? As the body starts moving in this direction, frictional force also changes its direction. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
As the body is moving in this direction, frictional force will be in this direction.
हाँ.
So that negative sign is not going to change. It
हाँ.
will be still negative. It will be mu k times n into x2 minus x1. सही है?
Yes.
अब जरा इनका सम करो. So what is the work done in moving the body from u1 to 2? It is f x2 minus f x2. So x2 will cancel out and it will remain only f into x1.
Yes.
तो पहला टर्म तो आ गया. दूसरे टर्म में क्या होने वाला है? दिस इज माइनस म्यू के इंटू एन इंटू x2 माइनस म्यू के इंटू एन इंटू x2. सो टोटल कितना होगा? माइनस 2 म्यू के n into x2 plus mu k into n into x1.
Yes.
Now, is this same as this?
No.
No. So हमें ये समझ में आया, F is conservative, no doubt, but frictional force is not conservative.
हाँ.
Are you with me?
Yes.
So we cannot define any potential energy associated with frictional force. So we cannot write down work done in moving the body from 1 to 2 by frictional force. So जब जब system is subjected to at least one, एक भी अगर उसमें नॉन कंजर्वेटिव फोर्स हो तो हम पोटेंशियल एनर्जी के टर्म्स में बात कर ही नहीं सकते. आर यू एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से?
हाँ.
We can talk about work done by all the forces acting on a body in moving from one place to another in terms of potential energy only and only if all the forces acting on the body are conservative in nature.
हाँ.
Now we will venture to something called as principle of minimization of potential energy. So let me write it down. Principle of minimization of potential energy. Chalo, we will start with an example where I have a spring here and you are going to apply force F. Rolling friction is 0. Rolling friction is 0. For the obvious reason that I am talking about minimization of potential energy, I will not allow friction to take place. समझ में आ रहा है? So we are assuming rolling friction to be 0. And this is linear elastic spring with spring constant K. And let us say that the spring starts right from here. And in its undeformed position, let us say this is point number 1, which has coordinate x equal to 0. In undeformed condition, the length of the spring is x2. So let us say this x1, sorry. This has coordinate x1. Are you with me?
Yes.
And now I am going to ask a question. What will be the deformation delta? How much delta will be there under the action of force F? Seemingly trivial question. You already know the answer. What will be delta? Batao. How much will be delta? Samay?
हाँ.
Will it be F by K?
हाँ.
And why do you believe this? Because the spring stiffness is defined in that way. K is the amount of force that is required to cause unit deformation. So if K is the force that causes unit deformation, what will F cause? So K corresponds to unit deformation. F corresponds to what? It is F by K. सही है? This is the way of looking at it. But now let us do it by principle of minimization of potential energy. So let us say I don't know what is the value of delta. I don't really know how much is delta. So delta is unknown for me. You know its exact value, but analytically, I will assume that the body settles in equilibrium at position delta. That means no more deformation than delta would occur. That means the body would have reached equilibrium under the action of force F and spring force Kx or K delta. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Now let us say that equilibrium position corresponds to x is equal to x2, such that x2 minus x1 is delta.
Okay.
In this, x1 is a known quantity. Let us keep track of what is known and what is unknown. X1 is known quantity. X is known quantity. X1 is known because you know length of the spring. So therefore, x is 0. X is 0 at point number 1. At point number 2, x is equal to x1. The body has to move from position number 2 to position number 3 here, where 3 is the equilibrium position. When I write down potential energy associated with the body at position number 3, कैसे लिखूं बताओ? What is the potential energy associated with body at 3?
F x2 minus x1.
Total potential energy. So what are the various forces that are acting on the body? mg and n. समझ में आ रहा है? There is mg and n. On account of mg and n, you are going to have some potential energy. So we will write down that as well. तो वो potential, sorry, mg is the force. तो उसके साथ जो potential energy है वो कितना है? जरा बताओ मुझे.
mg is force.
Yes, mg is the gravitational force.
Gravitational.
Let's say our reference is this. This distance is h. So what is the gravitational potential energy?
mgh.
And it is positive because it is lying above the reference.
C means
Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Now, as the body moves from position number 2 to 3, is this going to change?
No.
नहीं, ये तो mgh ही रहने वाला है. So can I treat this as constant?
Yes.
It is not going to vary when you vary x. Do you agree?
Yes.
हाँ, तो ये कांस्टेंट है. चलो, अब और कौन सा पोटेंशियल एनर्जी? स्प्रिंग का पोटेंशियल एनर्जी है, वो तो चेंज होने वाला है. डू यू एग्री विथ मी?
Yes.
एंड हाउ मच इज दैट पोटेंशियल एनर्जी? स्प्रिंग पोटेंशियल एनर्जी तो हमने देखा था वो हाफ है. हाफ इनटू के इनटू x2 माइनस x1. सही है ना?
स्क्वायर.
डू यू एग्री विथ मी? इसमें नॉन क्वांटिटी कौन सा है? x1.
सर x2 स्क्वायर माइनस x1 स्क्वायर होईल ना?
Just 1 minute. No. It is half k into x2 minus x1 square. Delta square. Delta.
बराबर.
समझ में आ रहा है क्या? हाँ. So half x2 minus x1 bracket square. K x2 minus x1 square. ये potential energy है spring के वजह से. And what is the potential energy corresponding to force F? F minus F. Hello.
Minus का?
This is
our direction. No?
x2 minus x1. No, I just told you that with external force we are going to assign negative. F minus F into x2 minus x1. Do you agree with me?
हाँ.
So let us replace x2 minus x1 by delta, which is unknown. So I will write it as minus f into delta. सही है?
हाँ.
Plus
Yes.
half k delta square plus
Yes.
mgh,
MGH.
which is constant.
Yes.
है ना? So
हाँ.
now look at the expression for total potential energy. It is function of what? It is function of delta.
हाँ.
If delta changes, this potential energy will change.
Yes.
That means if the body has to settle at any other position than 3, then corresponding to that position, the potential energy would change than this position. We are writing it for position number 3. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
So delta के ऊपर ये potential energy डिपेंड करता है. समझ में आ रहा है? अब जरा देखो, for seemingly no reason I am going to minimize this potential energy. I will say I want to minimize this potential energy. तो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी को मिनिमाइज करना है, एंड इफ इट इज फंक्शन ऑफ ओनली डेल्टा, तो व्हाट इज द एक्सप्रेशन? डेरिवेटिव ऑफ दिस टोटल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी
Should be
with reference to the variable on which it depends, delta,
delta.
must be equal to 0.
0.
Do you agree with me?
Yes.
This will guarantee that potential energy is either minimum or maximum.
Or maximum.
For minima, second derivative should be positive.
Positive.
समझ में आ रहा है? So for
Yes.
time being, keep that aside. We say we want to minimize this potential energy. So the first and foremost condition is you must have this equal to 0.
Okay.
D of potential
D.
derivative
हाँ.
of potential energy with reference to delta must be equal.
Delta should be 0.
So let us do that. तो करते हैं. तो क्या आएगा जरा बताओ आप मुझे. So that derivative
Minus F.
of f delta will be minus f.
Yes.
Derivative of half k delta square will be equal to
Half K delta.
ना k delta.
हाँ, K delta.
And this must be constant है ये mgh.
हाँ, तो 0.
It is constant to 0. This must be equal to 0.
0.
That gives me delta. That must be, therefore delta
by
must be
K.
equal to f by k.
हाँ.
Is it the same expression that you have already known?
Yes.
Therefore the deformation when the body assumes equilibrium will be given by principle of minimization of potential energy. If the body is acted upon by conservative forces, 1. If the body is within linear elastic region, 2nd, then out of n number of equilibrium shapes possible, the realizable equilibrium shape is that one for which the potential energy stored in the body is minimum.
हाँ. हाँ.
अब इसको हम दूसरे कॉन्टेक्स्ट में यूज करेंगे. अब जरा देखो, इफ यू हैव कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सिस्टम लाइक दिस फ्रेम, तो जैसे आपने झट से मुझे बता दिया कि डेल्टा इक्वल टू एफ बाई के, क्या आप यहाँ पे बता सकते हो कि व्हाट इज द डिफॉर्मेशन हियर? बता पाओगे? नहीं. Under the action of various forces, what is the deformation at this point? It is not as easy as this. Do you agree with me? But still, this is the system which is subjected to all the forces which are conservative in nature.
Yes.
Elastic forces are bending stiffnesses and axial stiffnesses, external loads and gravitational forces. So it is still the system which is subjected to all conservative forces. If somehow I can write down its potential energy in the deformed configuration, the correct value of deformed shape or correct value of deformation at various locations would be that for which potential energy stored in the system will be minimum.
हाँ.
समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ.
हाँ. So एक हमने छोटा सा एग्जांपल करके प्रूव कर दिया, so that you don't have any doubt in the validity of this statement. What about its mathematical proof? It is much more rigorous than this, but we will not go into that details. We will believe it because it is applicable to one of the system, and we by induction we will say it is applicable to all such systems which have conservative forces acting on them. समझ में आ रहा? हाँ, चलो अब इसी स्टेटमेंट को हम बोलते हैं वेरिएशनल प्रिंसिपल. क्या बोलेंगे?
वेरिएशनल प्रिंसिपल.
वेरिएशनल प्रिंसिपल. Why variational principle? Have you heard Newton's calculus as variational calculus? उसको दूसरा नाम भी है, उसको बोलते हैं variational calculus. Do you know this?
No.
Okay. So variational principle means what? Minimization of something. So let us say a particular quantity is dependent upon certain variables, and if you try to minimize it, then we are using the principle of minimization or variational principle. समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ.
So minimization requires first derivative with reference to a particular variable of a quantity to be equal to 0. Variational
Okay.
principle also involves maximization in line with minimization. दोनों के लिए हम variational principle ही बोलते हैं.
हाँ.
Okay. Potential energy is a mathematical concept. Minimization of potential energy, however, is a powerful tool which gives you the possibility of exploring deformed shape under different loads.
Okay.
समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ.
Okay. अब जरा हम in this lecture for the first time I will be talking something about finite element method. Once we have this background, now let us talk something related to finite element directly. तो अब जरा देखो finite element के दो तरीके के formulations. Yet I have not told you why we call it as finite element. ये मैंने बताया नहीं है, वो हम due course of time में कहेंगे. बट फाइनाइट एलिमेंट के दो फॉर्मुलेशंस हैं, वो दो फॉर्मुलेशंस में आपको आज बताने वाला हूं. कौन कौन से फॉर्मुलेशन है? सो लेट अस कंसीडर वही घिसा पीटा एग्जांपल. लेट अस से दिस इज ए सिंपली सपोर्टेड बीम subjected to arbitrary loading, and this loading is W. Can you, Samay, can you tell me what is the unit of this W?
Kilonewton per meter.
Yes. So it is the unit
Or
unit of
Newton per
force
meter.
divided by unit of length. You're
हाँ.
right. So it is intensity of loading. It is not
हाँ.
unit of force. It is intensity of loading, mind you. This beam has length L. And let us say I choose the coordinate system where I start taking x from left hand. Can you tell me governing differential equation of this system? EI d4y
हाँ.
by dx4. This must be equal to minus w.
Yes.
ये है ना strong form,
हाँ.
where w is a function of x and probably t. We don't know. If it is dynamic problem, we are going to have w as function of t as well. So EI d4y by dx4 is equal to minus w. Fourth order linear ordinary non-homogeneous homogeneous differential equation. ये इसके descriptors है. Any problem in physical domain can be generally represented mathematically by a differential equation of certain degree and certain type. Do you agree with me?
हाँ.
So is this sufficient? No, we will also have to specify 4 boundary conditions. Then we can solve it. समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ.
Now, similar to this, all other problems where there is axial loading, twisting, and all those things, there are governing differential equations. Not only structural engineering problems. Have you heard of Navier-Stokes equation in fluid mechanics? To make any meaningful conclusion about the variables variation, we will have to integrate this equation or we will have to solve this equation. Do you agree with me?
हाँ.
तो अब जरा देखो फाइनाइट एलिमेंट मेथड कहाँ यूज किया जाता है. The finite element method is used in any situation where a physical problem can be described by differential equation. So it is not restricted to structural engineering. You can go in fluid mechanics. You can go in fluid structure interaction. You can have heat wave problem. You can have blast temperature variation problem. Anything where differential equation governs the phenomena, it can be solved using finite element method. Am I very clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me, what is the nature of this differential equation? Is it discrete or continuous? मतलब x के वैल्यूज सिर्फ 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 ऐसे वेरी होंगे या
नहीं,
कंटिन्यूअसली वेरी होंगे?
कंटिन्यूअस है ना?
हाँ, so any differential equation is applicable over a continuous region. Do you agree with me?
हाँ,
Continuous region पे. So that means how many unknowns are we handling when we solve this differential equation? We are handling infinite unknowns.
infinite.
At every value of x, you will have to solve this equation. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
हाँ, तो फाइनाइट एलिमेंट में हम क्या करते हैं? वी कन्वर्ट दिस इनफाइनाइट डोमेन प्रॉब्लम ऑफ डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन इनटू फाइनाइट नंबर ऑफ अननोन्स. तो हम क्या करेंगे? वी विल डिस्क्रिटाइज x into n number of elements and we will only satisfy this equation at the boundaries of these elements which are called as nodes.
ओके.
So सिर्फ x equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 इसके बीच में इस पॉइंट्स पे हम ये इक्वेशन सेटिस्फाई करेंगे और 0 to 1 के बीच में जो वेरिएशन है वो इंटरपोलेशन से दिया जाएगा.
ओके.
So infinite domain problem is converted into finite domain by splitting the continuum into small elements. These elements may be in space or they may be in time depending upon the nature of differential equation. If differential equation is in space, जैसे कि अभी है d4y by dx4, x and y are space, वैसे ही mx double dot, this is the differential equation in time. Do you agree with me?
हाँ.
हाँ, तो therefore जो एलिमेंट्स हम बता रहे हैं वो या तो स्पेस में होंगे या फिर टाइम में होंगे. That doesn't matter. But as long as we convert infinite domain problem into finite domain by constructing elements either in space and time, finite number of elements, तो
हाँ.
उस मेथड, उस वे ऑफ सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम को हम बोलते हैं फाइनाइट एलिमेंट फॉर्मुलेशन. आर यू विद मी? दैट्स व्हाई द नेम फाइनाइट एलिमेंट.
ओके.
ना अब जरा आप मुझे बताओ, ये डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन हमें सॉल्व करना है, so you can directly integrate this using finite element formulation. फाइनाइट एलिमेंट फॉर्मुलेशन के साथ हम इसको सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. तो अब जरा देखो, ये जो बीम है, are we talking about linear elastic its behavior in linear elastic zone? Yes. Then is this beam subjected to conservative forces? हाँ, gravitational forces है, external forces है, and bending के वजह से आने वाला जो stiffness है तो elastic forces है. Are all these forces conservative in nature? Do you have friction anywhere here? No.
No.
So can I also solve this beam for its deformation by using principle of minimization of potential energy?
Yes.
Yes. So what I do is I write total potential energy as summation of gravitational potential energy plus elastic potential energy plus potential energy associated with external forces. And I minimize it. I say minimization of potential energy with reference to the deformation or
Delta.
variable.
हाँ.
This must be vanished. This must be zero.
Yes.
समझ में आ रहा है? अब जरा देखो, unlike spring problem where we had deformation only at one end, delta एक ही deformation था. Do you agree with me?
हाँ.
यहाँ पे हमें जितने एलिमेंट्स में हम इस बीम को डिवाइड करेंगे उतने जगह का डिफॉर्मेशन फाइंड आउट करना पड़ेगा. x1, x2, x मतलब y1, y2, y3, y4 ऐसे. Understand me?
हाँ.
Therefore, potential energy will involve y1, y2, y3, y4, all this. And to minimize potential energy, what we will have to do is, we will have to take derivative with reference to yi's. So you will have multiple equations. And then that derivative will be partial derivative because potential energy would then be function of y1, y2, y3, y4, multiple variables. E by dou yi must be equal to 0. This is the set of equation. It is not single equation.
हाँ.
कितने equations है ये? N equations है.
N equation.
And how many unknowns are there? N unknowns are there. y1, y2 to yn. बीच में तो हम इंटरपोलेशन कर रहे हैं. वो linear है, quadratic है, वो बाद में देखेंगे. But बीच में तो इंटरपोलेशन कर रहे हैं. So n equations, n unknowns, we can solve. This is called as finite element formulation based on variational principle associated with governing differential equation. गवर्निंग डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन बीम का कौन सा है? ये वाला.
हाँ.
उसके साथ एसोसिएटेड एक प्रिंसिपल है, वेरिएशनल प्रिंसिपल, मिनिमाइजेशन ऑफ पोटेंशियल एनर्जी, ये वाला.
Yes.
समझ
हाँ
में आ रहा है? So if we do finite element formulation by respecting this, the differential equation automatically gets respected.
ओके
तो अब आप समझ सकते हो कि स्ट्रक्चरल इंजीनियरिंग में मिनिमाइजेशन ऑफ पोटेंशियल एनर्जी का प्रिंसिपल है, बट आई सी नो रीजन दैट द सेम प्रिंसिपल शुड बी एप्लीकेबल फॉर हीट ट्रांसफर प्रॉब्लम. हीट ट्रांसफर में हम पोटेंशियल एनर्जी डिफाइन कर सकते हैं क्या? नहीं.
नहीं
There can be the cases where you have non-conservative forces, so potential energy कर सकते हैं क्या? डिफाइन नहीं.
नहीं
So you are going to deal with certain cases where you do have differential equation, governing differential equation, but you don't have corresponding variational principle in terms of minimization of potential energy. समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ हाँ
तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में, ऐसे प्रॉब्लम में we will be forced to go with direct integration formulation.
ओके
सो फाइनाइट एलिमेंट में दो तरीके के फॉर्मुलेशन है. एक है डायरेक्ट इंटीग्रेशन वाला, गवर्निंग डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशन को डायरेक्ट इंटीग्रेट करेंगे, या फिर इफ दैट गवर्निंग इक्वेशन इज फॉर्चुनेट इनफ to have corresponding variational principle like minimization of potential energy, we can do finite element formulation using that principle. समझ में आ रहा है? ऐसे दो क्लासेस है, and we will start building our finite element formulation for the cases where governing differential equation does have principle of minimization of potential energy or variational principle. समझा?
ओके
अब जरा देखो, if instead of this bending, if there would have been axial load, then the governing differential equation would change, but still it will be associated with the potential of minimization of, sorry, principle of minimization of potential energy. So
यस
therefore, wide class of problems in structural engineering have different differential equations, but they boil down to principle of minimization of potential energy. Very effective. So I think we will stop here today. We will meet again in the next class.
ओके